Welcome to the AI in Education podcast. Ray, we have an amazing special guest today. I first met Amanda Rose at the Women in AI Australia launch event in Sydney, and lots of previous guests were there, like Lee Barrett and Juliana. There's a whole of people. It was amazing. You may have seen Amanda on TV too. She's always on TV. Very colourful. She's a passionate advocate, mentor, business leader, founder, policy leader, and such an amazing person. This is a coup to have her on a podcast today. So welcome, Amanda. Thank you so much for joining our little AI in Education podcast. Where do we find you today?
Oh, metaphorically. Look, I just want to say thank you for having me, because not many people are doing what you're doing, if that makes sense. And not many people are getting to the realistic view of AI and the practical sides to AI that I'm dealing with on a daily basis with the everyday person, whether they're a small business or a school leader or just just someone in the street asking about it. So these are important conversations to have for people to go, where do I start? What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
But Amanda, there's two sides to advocacy. One is the evangelical side of advocacy. You know, this is the nirvana, everything is going to be fantastic. And the other side is the honest angle to advocacy, which is, you know, like AI. I could name you 50 people that say AI is going to save the human race. It's going to do amazing things. But
that's not advocacy, right?
Right.
That's called money, right? So we need to be very clear of often those who push something religiously without any criticism is connected in some form, usually to a gain of some kind, and it's usually money. I think a true advocate can actually say, look, like I always say, I hate AI as a premise. I hate progression. I hate all of that. And the reason why is because the way it's been delivered, the fact that it's been evolving for so long with no one talking to us about it. Data centers are being built without people communicating how they're managing that. Curriculum's not thorough enough for schools. Small businesses are completely neglected when it comes to government funding on training them in AI. So, you know, that's why it's like, well, hang on a minute. How come we're now having to play catch up in our lives? The government, I think, has a bigger role to play here, which has turned people off in a lot of ways. And the fear-mongering, and let's face it, we've seen clips online with the founders of a lot of these companies saying, we'll use AI in war, and everyone's like, whoa, I don't want to support that. So it's kind of how to advocate with a view of how can I help the listener, like right now. You know, you're driving your car, you're going for a walk, and you're like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I tried ChatGPT and it was crap. Or what do I do next? Or I need to use it for uni. What do I do? Right? I think that's missing. It's the grassroots advocacy. And that's why we started Women in AI Australia, but also why I talk about it with small businesses all the time. I'm saying, no, you can use it. It can help you.
okay, so let me wind you back then to that small business angle, because the majority of our listeners are involved in education. They're teachers, they're academics, they might be running IT systems for education. But a lot of the stories they hear about the use of AI in business comes from either the flashy tech companies or from the big corporations that make great case studies for the flashy tech companies. What's the reality of small business and AI?
The reality is that it changes every day. Like you open your Instagram, you open TikTok, you open something, there's another small business going, look, I set this up last week, but I'm just saying this is better. Try this, do that. And so it's overwhelming. So they think this is too much. So when I deal with them or when I talk to people and even myself, it's like pick one tool. And that's the key word. It's a tool, right? So instead of seeing it as, oh, it's going to replace all this stuff and it's going to replace, no, it should be an efficiency tool. How can you use AI in small business to actually help you? I mean, we're already using it, automations, things that are already happening. We didn't really name it AI, but how can we start to evolve to say, how can I use this tool to help me in my business? And if you take a step back from that, what are the gaps and problems in my business? And that's the thing. People are just getting AI and trying to plug it into their business without thinking, instead of saying, actually, what's my issue? Is it admin? Is it diary management? Is it assistance with writing? Is it assistance with all these things? And then use it as a tool and stop trying to take on every app, take on every tool, take on everything and add it to your business, because you get overwhelmed and you'll hate it. Small businesses, like even just like ChatGPT, I'll use that as an example. It's the most common one that people mention, and people go, don't use that, use Claude. Don't use that, use this. And they have all these, start with one. What can you use it for? Is it right for you? Test it out. And it can make it, like, all you need is an hour or 2 hours a week saved with time, and it's working for your business. You don't have to be a tech giant or a whiz in it.
What guidance do small businesses get? Because this is such a good parallel with schools. None. Yeah, because even like my partner's company, like a month ago, said no AI. If you use AI, you kind of out the door. And now they're looking at an AI policy like 3 weeks later or whatever. Is there really limited governance or anything coming from the government about this?
No. So this is the thing. Wow. I think this is what's frustrating. It's very limited. So they're doing AI policy within governments. I know federal is AI policy to help them save time with their staff. But in general, I don't think they really know. I think there's a lot of AI owners, that they've got a lot of money and everyone knows to be part of it. And then you've got government. They don't have that expertise in between, those policy makers that come in and advocate to say, actually, we need this for small business. So we actually need state and territories, federal, to say the funding they do for small business for incubator programs, they need to actually have funding for AI, education, how to use it for your business and what to do, because people just freak out. And I'm studying at the moment. And when I first started this particular degree, it was no AI. And now it's like, I just put a line in that you're using AI, right?
Yeah.
You're studying business law at University of Sydney. I saw that. And I was interested because the law school at Sydney Uni have done a deal with Harvey AI, saying we believe that's a tool or indicative of a type of tool that our graduates will be using when they get into the world of law. So we want to enable them to be employment ready. But that's interesting at the kind of big headline level. But most people in Australia work in small and medium businesses, not in huge businesses. And I suspect even if you're a school teacher, your kids are probably doing some part-time work. The senior kids are doing some part-time work in a small business. If you're at a university, you're more likely to go and end up in a small business or a medium business. So what are the skills that students need? Actually, not even need to. What are the extra skills they can bring because they are more familiar with experimentation with technology?
A good way to do this is think of a generation ago and think of social media, right? So when you brought someone who goes, what's Instagram? What's TikTok? How do you do this? It's the exact same with AI. You want to bring in, like, if you're looking for employment or if you want to prepare students for employment, get them to understand the different tools, what they can do, how they can apply to that business. And just like anyone I did in my career, you walk up to your boss and you say, hey, I know this tool. I'd like to apply it to this business. Can I test it or can I pilot this to help with your efficiencies? So I think from a small business perspective, they should be looking for people with that skill set. It's a bonus skill set, like you would if someone had back in the day, the social media skill set. But in the schools right now, we've got a generation of children that are going to AI to replace thinking instead of AI as an additional skill set or a competitive advantage. So it's like, how do we still get them to think for themselves, not using technology at all to brainstorm? Then which tool do we bring in to assist with that? So instead of replacing the process of thinking and creativity, I always say bring in industry experts into the classroom, bring a small business into the classroom and say, what problem do you
Great
have?
idea.
And then get them to say, oh, this is a small business, a local small business. This is our problem. What would you do? Let's brainstorm without tech first. And then how would we use AI to help execute that problem-solving tool that you've just created from brainstorming for that small business and test it out. So keeping that the same structure you would when you're trying to solve a problem, but then bringing in AI as a tool, not just going into AI. This is the problem the small business have. What should I do? Because that's pretty much saying, I want to extract my brain and never use it again.
Yeah. So this is fascinating because my brain's firing all kinds of angles here. What we see with schools is that there's a framework at the government level, and then by the time it gets to the state level and then to local school level, it's so diluted and it's very difficult. It's creating these equity gaps.
Yes.
Presumably then, the similar things happening with business. I know you're on the Western Sydney Business Leaders Associations there. We've seen this in small business as well, where different people are getting different levels of support and fragmentation.
Oh, they would. Well, if you're a white male in a rich area, your friends are all in AI and they've all got a tech business and they're all starting an app and they all hang out with each other, right? Which is great. So what the people, in particular, if you're a leader or if you're a school, bring those people in to experience it. But then you've got what I call the everyday, flat out busy, running a small business, parents, just in general, parents trying to understand things. Teachers are like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to teach and understand what's going on. It's overwhelming. If you see it as AI tools change daily, if you just assume there's a new one next week, okay, so it's not about the tool, it's about the structure, it's about the mechanism, it's about what would you put in place? What processes would you do, like in a business? What problem do I have? How do I solve it? Which tool would fit that? And I think we need to go right down to that basic level and use that formula at schools, use that formula in small business, because there is a massive gap. We're on our own.
Yes.
Even in small businesses, there are people out there go, I can teach you AI. And people are like, oh, this is too much. This is too overwhelming. We've actually got to go back to 101. Everything should start with just AI 101. I run them like with procurement. I do procurement 101. What is it? So what is this? How to use it? Really simple. And I would say 50% of people, that's all they'll need to use for the rest of their life. They'll be fine.
Yeah. I see the same. But yeah, absolutely. I went into Ravenswood School yesterday. Big shout out for them. They were amazing. And we were looking at some more advanced stuff. But before we did that, I spent the time doing the basic stuff. And actually, we ended up spending a heap of time on the basic stuff. Like
foundations.
90% of it.
Would you build a building without the foundations first? No,
exactly.
but everyone wants to put the roof on first.
Yeah. I know. Can you just share as well with us the kind of things that you've seen in small business? Because the parallel for schools, like when you talk about procurement there, one of the people I was speaking to yesterday in the leadership team was a procurement person. So what kind of things will you be doing with small businesses so the schools are saying, say, hey, that's a good idea?
Well, I think with small businesses, if you look at a small business right now, they are facing multiple challenges, right? So you've got supply costs, cost of living, you've got, staff trying to learn AI, trying to be competitive in marketing, you've got online, everyone's telling you to go online, and it's a massive struggle. So my rule of thumb is no matter what you do, simplify. Whatever it is you're doing, halve it, pull back, simplify it, but actually create an AI policy yourself. Create your own strategy, your own policy. And I believe the classroom should do this, department should do this and say, what do I need? What do I want to design? What's the vision for my business? So you might be a cafe owner and you think, I don't need AI, don't you? Could you use it in some capacity? Do you need help with your marketing? Do you need help with, so what policy could you actually design for your business and treat it as such? Because it's that micro level. We need to go back to really simple structures, one-page business plan type vibes, one-page strategies. Schools can be so complex with their policies and no one's following it. Same with small business. They've got massive, chunky business plan that no one's following because it's to keep it simple, the one-pager. And it could be in as much of, did you think first before using AI? Because that's the rule, right? Or did you get 3 people to review what you created? Did you cross-check? Did you reference check? In the legal space, that people are using AI and there's fake cases being created out of AI and they're going to court with it. So there's danger to not knowing your stuff. There's danger. So it's not a replacement of learning. It's not a replacement of all the things you need to do in business or in education. It's a tool to assist with learning. It's a tool to assist with business growth. And I think that's not being communicated enough. But everyone's too worried about it replacing people when, no, we've seen big business try and do that and hire people back. So it can't replace that.
That's a really interesting way of looking at it. That focus thing of what are the thing you're going to focus on doing? It might be, I want to reduce the time I spend doing on paperwork after the shop's closed by half. Or
that's right.
I want to use it to help me improve my marketing or understand my customer segments better or get better at production or whatever it might be. That same thing would apply from a school perspective to stop jumping around onto the next great thing that was announced yesterday. And I see that all the time as well. And I feel the urge to go there as well.
Exhausting.
But that thing of, yes, I am going to use it in this way for the next few months because, I've got so many abandoned projects behind me, almost literally, of things that was like, oh, great, I can do this now. And then 3 weeks in, it's like, oh, another shiny object. I'm like a magpie.
But that's a really good point, right? Because think about that it's dividing your mind, right? And so you're not delivering anything. So it's instead of having 100 things going at once and deliver on nothing, you've got to focus on the one thing. And that's regardless. That was back in the day. That's now. We just got more distractions. So the person who's going to win isn't the person that knows AI the best or as many AI apps or has built an app. The person who's going to succeed is the person who can actually focus on what they want to build, what they want out of it, what they want to use it for, and succeed at it. Just like in anything, whether it's your career, whether it's your small business, instead of trying to be all things to all people, which is the feeling AI gives you, right? Now, that's why it's overwhelming. That's why people just go, I give up. No. Pick one thing. You know, if you pick a project, like you said, 3 months, we're focusing on this. Can it help us? I always say test anything first. Test it for 3 months. If it's not working, dump it.
So to take it to a deeper level now in terms of that equity piece, so we know there's an equity in small business similar to schools, but then it's fascinating for myself and Ray because we interview some amazing people in this podcast like yourself, and a lot of the people doing amazing cutting edge work in Australia are female, right? And but there's a lot to do in that area to make sure everybody, you know, that this AI equity race, not just from a female perspective, from an Indigenous race, raises everybody. The sea brings everybody up. So the Women in AI initiative, I know, the Women in AI initiative and support and the entire kind of paradigm behind all that. Can you explain what the goal of that is and what you were seeing across the industry, I suppose, from a female and a successful female and a founder in this kind of area?
Because I've been in business for a long time and obviously focusing on women in business, but also I've worked and consulted a lot of male-run fintechs. I work alongside them and I see how, you know, all that's happening for them, and it's a very different conversation for them. They get access to resource and money just by asking someone. It's just natural for them, right? Versus women. So what we found is we didn't want the same thing to happen in AI as we have seen in every other sector for women where they get left behind. And in particular, AI is, it's aggregating content, right? Like it's collecting data from what's already out there. And we know in key areas, it's male dominated, like finances and loan approvals. When financial institutions are saying, oh, we want to use AI to help with loan approvals, well, they're collecting historical data where men of a certain age, a certain career get approved and women don't. So what you're doing is actually making it worse for the future if you don't have human involvement. And that's the thing. AI is only good like garbage in, garbage out. The equity piece won't be fixed unless someone manually goes in and say, where are we getting this content? Where are the gaps? What information do we need to put into this to make sure that it is actually used as an equity piece? Because a tool isn't magically going to create equity. Humans need to make decisions and put in boundaries and mechanisms and policies and content and data to make it equitable. So a lot of people are assuming AI will, and it won't. So we want to make sure that we have a voice, that women are included in that discussion. You know, we're up against people saying, oh, but that's not fair. It should be merit-based. I'm like, we want merit-based. We absolutely want merit-based, but not women have access to the same resources. They're not having access to the connections, or the data from the 1950s is being used to make decisions for 2026.
Yeah. I feel as though I've seen lots of women in AI, but actually there's obviously a big gap here. What can we do about it? And what are we going to do as the women in AI in Australia?
I encourage women to actually see AI as a way to help them become more competitive in the space of business, right? So it can actually, from my experience, women in small business are quick studies, quick learners. They're very efficient. They don't have time to waste. They're not always about making the big bucks. They actually want efficiency and they want to be profitable. So if they use AI as a competitive tool, they can advance quite quickly and swiftly in that space. So working together and educating and saying, hey, this actually could be something to use to your advantage. Don't rely on others to fix that equity piece. You use it yourself and go for it, essentially, which I think is a really powerful thing for women to go, hang on a minute, this could be our way to advance, because statistically, men get the money, men want to be the next billionaire, they want to make these AI products. Not necessarily. Women usually like to solve problems. Like the women I'm dealing with, women in AI Australia, blow me away. So it could be, I've created an app to help people understand people with autism and neurodivergent and how to respond to that. So just to even think about that, to think here is a tool to help people understand others, like the empathy piece to that. So I think AI could actually advance communities through women-owned businesses and women solving problems using AI. And that's why we really want to encourage that, because we don't want it to be all about a money grab. We want it to be women being financially secure, but also solving problems with it. So there's a positive to it, using it to help you with what you're building or to help the problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
Which is not something the men naturally think of when they're building an app.
That's so true. And we also seen through the research as well, that integrity piece coming out when student use of AI, because boys will go in and just put anything into AI and submit it to an assignment. And we've seen with the research that the girls are getting extremely upset if they're getting pinged for using AI legitimately to support them in their studies. The amount of emails and messages Ray and I get from teachers saying, we've got a girl in our school who have been pinged for academic integrity, and she is now completely distraught. Because the values are very, very different and much more focused on integrity. But all the women I know in this space are so entrepreneurial and so it's like very exciting. I'm very excited about it.
I actually think, and this is the thing, I actually think it is an opportunity to get women into, let's say STEM, right, in tech. Well, they've been lagging behind for so long, and it's always been very male-dominated financially, even access and lobbying. There's only a handful of women that made it to the top. So I think this could be an massive equity piece for women to say, you know what, I can use that to build this that I wanted to build or to help with my business. And it's true, the integrity piece of, we don't want to turn people off. We don't want women to be scared of AI. So it's from young girls going, I've just been in trouble for using AI, which is ridiculous. If they're, if anything, they should be seen as an education piece. So if someone does use AI, sit and talk to them about it. Just like a businesswoman, what do you want to solve? Let's use AI to solve it, and talking to each other about it. So we want to get women together to share that. So we've got a career woman here, an entrepreneur here, a small business here, an educator here, and they're all sharing tips.
Yeah, so good. So good.
I love you threw in a couple of examples that just set off my kind of biased AI agenda as well. The example of if you're training on data from the 50s and using it now. Well, in the 50s, women couldn't get a mortgage without their husband or their father signing off. So AI would learn that the only successful female applicants were ones that were married.
Right.
And the other piece is around, I've heard this fascinating story about in Africa, they were building an app to help farmers to be able to take photos of things with mobile phones. And they found it only worked for men. And it turned out that the reason was that men were out in the fields early in the morning while women were doing all of the housework before they could then get out into the fields. So they were only taking pictures in the middle of the day, and the AI didn't know what things looked like in the middle of the day because it only had early morning photos. Astonishing examples. So we've talked about it a few times on the podcast. We're going to talk about it a few times more about how to integrate that into your teaching and the way that you can help students to understand things. But I guess the thing I'm thinking, though, is going back to that original conversation about small and medium business, the work that you're doing with small and medium businesses, the fact that women founders and women owners of businesses are maybe experiencing things in different ways to the ways that men are. How, as a teacher or a school principal or an academic, how do I bring that experience into the classroom? Like, how you said, bring business owners in. How do I find them? What's your advice as somebody connects with
go to your local chamber? Go to your local chamber and ask them, even just do an event together. Just say, could you bring in some businesses? We used to do this, goodness, like every school's been doing this over the generations where there's a case study or a problem solving. So do like a hackathon but for small business. And you could do a call out to the chamber and say, look, we want to solve problems for the local business. Do you have any that might want to come in with their problem? So you're actually helping a small business by helping them with their problem at the same time of teaching children real world practical applications to things. And that's what's needed, because AI can make you think it's just a phone, it's just a laptop. It's not. It's a tool, like a machine, see it as a machine to do something or to deliver and to help with something, right? So bring in just go to your local chamber or Facebook or social media. Hey, I'm looking for this. Could be a parent. What is your problem that you would like us to try and solve? But without it being high tech. So, we're looking for your retail store, your accountant, get a bunch of different ones to come with a problem, but then also reward the children for solving that problem. So give them a gift, because what you're doing, especially the girls, when we talk about the equity piece, we've been conditioned over the years that we need to do so much free stuff to prove ourselves. So if we actually say that whoever's solving the problem, and that's the problem, then you win, then you get a gift card. So you actually got value to your problem solving as well.
That's so good, because I remember I used to do that when I was when I was teaching myself in the UK. We did that with local businesses, and it was before AI and everything. But we got the kids to do projects based on there was a local vet, and there was an old people's home, and they loved those projects because they'd go out to see them, and then they chat and they do like leaflets and flyers and fun stuff for them,
and people get jobs from
games.
That. It's actually a career activity, right? So people can get jobs from actually doing that, and it's networking. It's connecting in person. We need to keep the human in AI. We need to keep that in-person activity. We need people to meet with people, talk to people. What is your problem? Let's talk about it. How, it's like you need to be an engineer. Really, we need a bunch of engineers, right? It's all about problem solving. What is the problem you have and how do we solve it? That's what we need to be doing.
And I think teaching about those elements as well. I have questions quite a bit about this happened, or how do I use AI in this context, or this didn't produce the right result. And I'm like, use it as a learning point. So like doing a project like that also teaches them what AI is good at and what it's not good at, and where the bias is. And, I did this image and there's only guys on the image in this vet's because, it's just, they assume the vet's a guy.
But also, you don't want to lose your identity in AI. And I think as small businesses fear that a lot, but also students, my biggest concern is they'll lose their identity. So you can get a really good research piece done on AI and it answers that and you think, oh, wow. But then is that my voice? Is that me? So you can end up just using it for you and you become AI and you don't use your brain. So it's always like still use pen and paper, write down your ideas, keep your identity. Who are you? They should be doing branding activities, personal branding activities at school. Who are you? What are you about? What are your passions? What are your values? What are your ethics before they do anything in AI? Really
so good.
Help them understand this is who I am, regardless of what I'm doing with tech.
Yeah, that's really good, because I do a Women Rising course. I'm an advocate in Microsoft in my role, and there's a course called Women Rising that's done across Australia with large businesses and things. And that course is an entire module in there about branding, personal branding, and who you are. And I'd never done that myself before. It was amazing.
Yeah, you can't lose yourself. Not just AI, anything. You can go anywhere. People think, but AI has for the younger generation, there's a danger, or even women, because women panic and thinking, oh, should I do this because that's what everyone else is doing type thing. No, who are you and what are you willing to do, or what do you want to add value to? What's your personality? What's your skill set? Why are you different to everyone else? Because AI might help with equity, but it also can just turn everyone into the same.
That's such a good
Brilliant.
point.
The things I'm going to remember out of this are the hint about go to your local chamber. That's fascinating.
Like, how'd you go to your local chamber? Where are they? Just
don't ask, you don't get. You just go online, Google who's the chamber for my area, my suburb, and say hi, especially the teachers. If you say hi, and if they don't respond, get the student to email, because no one says no to a student.
Yeah.
And
that is really helpful, because often it's too easy to go, I'll email Dan. I'm sure you get requests all the time from schools,
you need real world.
That's awesome. I'm going to go and dig more into the Women in AI Australia, because as founders, between you, Juliana, and Nikki, who I met a couple of years ago, that's going to be amazing in terms of just keeping to push that agenda.
Yeah, so good.
And the other thing I'm going to walk away with is thinking about where we started from, which is Australia's businesses are dominated by small and medium businesses. And how do we think about that perspective when we think about the fact that students need skills to be able to support them? And you've given us some really practical ways to do it as well. So that's awesome. I also like the fact that we shouldn't keep chasing every new shiny object.
No.
I'm going to try really hard not to do that, at least for today.
Focus.
My takeaway is that simplicity thing where you talked about simplicity. Make your own policy, your own, whether you're a small business or school. And what is my vision for it? Where are the humans in the loop?
Simplifying all the time, every day, you know, because especially when you're got ideas and you want to do more, finish what you started.
I love it.
Right? Evolve, but finish what you started.
Yeah, and when we all play, we all win. Like it's an Xbox kind of slogan, but I think it's amazing. Thank you, Amanda, for jumping on today on this pod. Like the work you're doing is amazing, and keep advocating and keep wearing the bright colours because it's amazing.
I know, right?
I know.
Yeah, look at us, Dan. We are a stereotype today.
Thank you, Amanda.